Hey guys, this is God of Politics. Welcome back to a brand new video, but before we get started with this video, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Also follow me on Twitter and join the Discord. Those are both linked down in the description. But in today's video, I do want to do an alternate history video for if Donald Trump actually ran in the 2012 election. Now, Barack Obama and Joe Biden were the incumbent president and vice president, but there was talk at the time that Donald Trump might actually run for president, and he said that I do believe he said that he regretted not running in 2012 because he thought that it was a wasted opportunity that Mitt Romney lost. But this will be the election prediction that I am doing if Donald Trump had ran. Now, I am putting Rick Santorum as the vice president. You know, it could have been a bunch of different people, but Rick Santorum is more of an establishment figure, and he did actually run in the 2012 election, so I do believe it's a possibility that Donald Trump would have picked him to be the vice president candidate. But let's get right into the video. So first off, the safe states, I do believe Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, Alaska, North Dakota, South Dakota, all of Nebraska except for the 2nd district, Kansas, Oklahoma, as well as Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, West Virginia, and South Carolina. So that is 98, actually, only 98 electoral votes for Donald Trump and Rick Santorum. It's not very much at all. But actually, as well as Utah. So that's 104 safe electoral votes for Donald Trump and Rick Santorum. And then for Barack Obama and Joe Biden, they would win California, Oregon, Washington, New Mexico, Hawaii, Illinois, as well as the state of New York, Vermont, Maine's 1st District, Maine at large, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, D.C. So that is 190 safe electoral votes for Barack Obama and Joe Biden, and 104 safe electoral votes for Donald Trump and Rick Santorum. Now, first for the likely states, I do believe Missouri and Indiana would have both been likely states because if you do look back at 2008, Barack Obama did win the state of Indiana. He very narrowly won the state of Indiana. He very narrowly lost the state of Missouri. I believe both of these states would have been on the cusp of being safe, but just missed it, just like it did in real life in the 2012 election in Missouri, and it just passed the safe margin in Indiana. But I do believe that Obama would have been able to do a little bit better in the rural areas than he did against Mitt Romney, and I also do believe he would have done a little bit better in the suburbs, and that's kind of the gist of this election. I do believe that Obama definitely would have done worse in the rural areas just because of how much he won the 2008 election by, but he would have been able to limit the damage than what he did against Mitt Romney, particularly in the suburbs, because we know that Donald Trump is a weak candidate in the suburbs. Barack Obama would have been able to make gains in the suburbs rather than losses, which he did in 2012. I do believe the rural areas would have been a little bit more stagnant, maybe relative to the national environment. They would have turned it a little bit to Barack Obama, but that would have been Donald Trump's strength in this election, just like it was in 2016, even when the suburbs did trend blue. But without further ado, getting into some of these more of these likely states, I do believe Texas and Georgia would have also both been likely margin states. Now, Texas, you have to remember, was actually only decided by 12 percentage points in 2008, and I do believe that Barack Obama would have done very well with Latino voters, and he would have capitalized on Trump's harsh rhetoric on immigration, and he also would have been able to do a little bit better in the suburbs where Donald Trump did have weaknesses. And it's not necessarily that Barack Obama was weak in the suburbs, it's just that Mitt Romney was a very good candidate for the suburban areas, and Barack Obama did do well in the rural areas in 2008, and while they trended very red in 2012, I do believe again he would have been able to limit the damage against Donald Trump and Rick Santorum. Similar story with Georgia. Barack Obama would have gained a little bit in the suburbs, but lost a little bit of ground in the rural areas, comparing the raw percentages to 2008. So those are the likely margin states for the Republican Party, and that gets Donald Trump up to 179 electoral votes. Actually, Arizona's another state, so that's 190 electoral votes they get up to, with these 5 states going by likely margin, totaling up to 86 electoral votes. Now, for Barack Obama and Joe Biden, I do believe they would have won Nevada and Colorado, both by likely margins. Now, if you look at 2012, Barack Obama didn't actually win Colorado by a very substantial margin. If you look at it, he only won it by 4.7 percentage points. So that's not actually too significant of a margin, and that's because Mitt Romney did better with college-educated voters, and that's where Joe Biden did very well within this election. But back in 2012, Donald Trump would not have done as well with those voters, and so Barack Obama would have been able to win Colorado by close to a safe margin. Similar story in Nevada, where Barack Obama would have done very well with Latino voters and also done better with some of those suburban white voters. Now, I also do believe he would have been able to win Michigan and Minnesota by a likely margin. I do believe those are two states which he, if you look objectively at the results in 2012, he won Michigan by almost a safe margin, and he won Minnesota quite easily as well. So I do believe he would have been able to win those states by a likely margin. Wisconsin we'll talk about in a second, but I also believe Virginia he would have won by a likely margin again because Donald Trump would not have been able to do well in the suburbs, and it would have given Barack Obama better margins there. So after the likely margin states, actually, we do have one more, and that is the state of New Hampshire. I do believe Barack Obama would have been able to do better with the white voters there than he did against Mitt Romney, making the state closer than it was in 2012, but he still won it by a likely margin, so it doesn't make too much of a difference. But after the likely margin states, Barack Obama and Joe Biden are already at 248 electoral votes, whereas Donald Trump and Rick Santorum are only at 190 electoral votes. So now, for the lean margin states, there are actually no lean margin states. Actually, I will put Nebraska's 2nd District at a lean margin because if you do look at the 2012 election, Mitt Romney did win Nebraska's 2nd District by around 8 percentage points after Barack Obama won it by around 2 percentage points in 2008, with different boundaries, of course, on the map because it is a congressional district. But I do believe even with Donald Trump's weaknesses in the suburbs, he wouldn't have been able to lose it. I do believe he would have run it by around 2 to 3 percentage points. But now the lean margin states for the Democrats, for Barack Obama and Joe Biden, I first believe Wisconsin and Pennsylvania would have been lean margins for him. He would have done worse in the rural areas, and Rick Santorum being from Pennsylvania may have helped him a little bit, but Barack Obama would have done worse in the rural areas, particularly in this area with Trump's rhetoric on being a populist, things like that. Even though that's not necessarily true, I do believe that he would have been able to do better in these rural areas because you look at some of these rural areas and, Donald Trump would have a lot of room to gain in these areas. And while Barack Obama would gain in areas like the Philadelphia suburbs, I don't think it would have been enough to make it a likely margin, but he still would have won the state regardless. I also believe Iowa would be a lean margin. Donald Trump would make gains in these rural areas, particularly in northeast Iowa, but it would just not be enough to overcome Barack Obama's strong margins in the urban areas, plus these rural areas where Barack Obama's margins are not too bad. So I do believe that would have given him a victory by a lean margin in the state of Iowa. Now, after the lean margin states, Barack Obama and Joe Biden are already up to 284 electoral votes, whereas Donald Trump and Rick Santorum are only at 191. Now, these last states do get kind of difficult because if we do look at it, there are 4 states: Ohio, North Carolina, Florida, and Maine's 2nd District. I do believe that Florida probably would have gone red, and this is kind of highlighting what the message of the campaign would have been. And while Florida does like incumbents, I do believe that Donald Trump would have been able to narrowly win it because it's all part of the rhetoric that Donald Trump would have in this campaign. He would be painting Obama as, having a bad economy, things like that, saying that he'd be able to fix the economy. That would work in some places. That could work in areas like the rural areas of the Rust Belt, and that could work in, some other areas like rural Iowa, but it wouldn't necessarily work in other areas. But in Florida, I do believe, given how narrow the margin was for Mitt Romney and Barack Obama, and given how well we saw Donald Trump do in Florida in 2016 and 2020, I do believe that he would have won Florida by a tilt margin, but it would have been very, very close. However, I do believe all of these other states would have gone to Barack Obama by tilt margins. That's Ohio, North Carolina, and Maine's 2nd District. North Carolina, I do believe he would have been able to do all right in the rural areas, plus gaining in a lot of these suburbs, because if you look at the suburbs, Barack Obama didn't actually do that well. He only won Guilford County by 16 points. He only won Mecklenburg County by 22 percentage points. He only won Wake County by 10 percentage points. And while he did do very well in the rural areas relative to most other Democrats, especially Joe Biden in this election, and he would have lost a lot of those rural areas to Donald Trump in this election, he would have been able to gain enough areas in the suburbs where he could keep the state in his column, which he did actually win in 2008. Ohio, it's a similar story to what I pointed out in a lot of these other Rust Belt states. Donald Trump would have done better in the rural areas, but he wouldn't have done well enough, I don't think, because Barack Obama did win it by quite a significant margin for the state of Ohio and a Democrat in 2008, and I do believe he would have been able to maintain most of those margins in 2012. He only narrowly won it against Mitt Romney, and I think he narrowly won it against Donald Trump as well. So looking at the final state, Maine 2nd District, Donald Trump would have made significant gains here, but I don't believe the rural areas would have trended red enough to give it to Donald Trump and Rick Santorum. But overall, the map would have looked like 318 electoral votes for Barack Obama and Joe Biden and 220 electoral votes for Donald Trump and Rick Santorum. Donald Trump and Rick Santorum would have flipped Florida and Indiana, but Barack Obama would have maintained his margins pretty much everywhere else. So thank you all for watching this video. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Also follow me on Twitter and join the Discord. Those are both linked down in the description. But again, guys, thank you all for watching this video, and I will see you guys later.